Welcome to Beer Net Radio. Listen to on every continent except Antarctica. B-E-E-R-R-N-E-T.
Beer.
Beer Net Radio.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
All right. Well, it looks like we have Nick already in the waiting room, so we'll knock this out. How have you been? How was your ski trip?
It was fun. It went by so fast. I'm sure it did not go by very fast for you.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. We knocked it out with Hannah's help and Sarah. But yeah, glad to have you back. And I was thinking about coming to Austin on Friday for that Mighty Swell thing, but I don't think we can now. We have a funeral and my sister's in town, and so just a few things going on.
Yeah.
But let's see.
On that note,
on that note,
lagging a little bit. I don't know if you can help it because I know you don't have your regular setup.
This is all I got. I'm at Millicent's house, but Millicent, we're still on camera. She's walking around.
Trying out auto tune because that's what it sounds like. That you're on auto tune.
Oh. Millicent just keeps popping in. Millicent, put some clothes on.
Hey, Nick.
Put more clothes on.
Hey, Harry, how are you?
Hello, Nick. How you been?
Good. How's everything?
Good. Well, if I can get my fiance to quit walking around naked in the background, it would be a lot better. This is supposed to be a professional podcast.
Wow.
Going here.
Let's not go that far.
She's like, they're pajamas. I would like to point out that it is 1:00 in the afternoon here in Texas. So. But she does have Hey, Kyle, welcome to Beer Net Radio. Thanks, guys, for being on. I was
been a hot minute.
Yes, it has. Jen says my audio is lagging a bit. I'm at Millicent's house. Somebody tried to break in her house last night, and so for some reason she called me like I could do anything about it. So I raced over here to protect her, and anyway, that's why I'm here. Well, anyway, thanks for being on, and tell us the latest about what's going on with Loverboy. I read a data point the other day that says that y'all are the number 1 and number 2 tea in the Northeast. Something like that.
Yeah, no. Thanks for reaching out. We actually missed that webinar, so you actually put that stat on our radar.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, no, we've been busy. I mean, I feel like the entire last 2 years has just been a crazy whirlwind. But around July of last year, after submitting, some Kroger resets for the fall of 2021, the buyer there said, "Hey, like if you guys have the capacity, let's go nationwide when you submit your 2022 spring resets." So we've been on this incredibly ambitious expansion plan to meet those mandates. I think we had about 7,000 ads if you add up, fall and spring, all of which required, new distribution. So it's been a wild run. We're probably turning on about, we're in about 20 states, half of which probably have full state coverage. We're turning on 20 this spring. So we'll be upwards of 40 states as a result of this huge expansion push that has taken up all my time in the last, 9 months.
Okay. And did y'all just get done with a funding round, or did I hear that?
We are, we have some investors circling. To date, we've actually managed to, turn our friends and family around, which we did a $1.2 million friends and family almost 3 years ago, about May of 2019. We've been profitable, so we have 50% gross margins, 25% net margins. It's better than Boston Beer. So we've been able to build this kind of organically and sustainably. But if we're going to go from a year ago, we were in five markets with 5 distributors. Now we have 125. We'll probably have 200 by the end of the year. That's a lot. That usually takes, some of these nationwide craft brands 2 decades to pull off. We did it in 2 years.
And we only have 10 people.
Yeah, we're 10 people. That's Nick.
Yeah,
COO.
how do y'all manage that growth? I mean, because dealing with 150, 200 distributors is that in itself is quite a logistics challenge, I'd imagine.
Yeah. We are staffing up. It's almost like, we're punching above our weight class and then some, and our actual team hasn't really caught up. So Nick and I have been busy actually building out the team. We have a couple of recruiters working with us. And that's actually one of the reasons, coming back to your point, we're thinking about raising some money. It's time to pour some gas on the fire.
So, hey, I have a question for you, Kyle. How's it go? I mean, what's the goal, right? I mean, you're one of the top tea brands. You're super popular with Gen Z. Are you chasing twisted tea? Like, how big could it get? And how many cases are you guys doing right now?
Sure. So lots of questions in there. So our goal is really to turn Loverboy into a household name. We benefit from a ton of user-generated content. People share Loverboy 11 times more than White Claw on Instagram. When we think about where we want to go, it's really not competing with twisted tea. A lot of people have tried to take a direct shot at twisted tea and missed. We are really like that trade up premium upsell opportunity for like the hard seltzer consumer that has had their fill on, the mainstream liquid that is all virtually formulated the same. And we're just using better quality ingredients, making a better for you product. And I think we've been, that's what we've been all about since the start. We're like, hey, if we can't compete, at $15 variety 12 packs, let's launch premium 6-pack. Let's launch a premium brand and premium 6-packs. And we actually outsell a lot of the mainstream hard seltzers in their lower margin 12 packs. So our whole thinking is like, hey, we've been approached by a couple of strategics, but we're keeping our heads down and just building an incredible independent brand, whether you want to think about it as like, hey, maybe we could be the next Mark Anthony brands, like we're just running and gunning.
But I think the way we're approaching the growth, right? We're not trying to just go fast and wide as quick as possible. We're trying to partner with the right distributors where we fit in their portfolio, where it's a true partnership, just building this best in class distribution network across the country. Because I think it allows us options, right? We could write our own ticket. We're not pigeonholed to hoping that somebody takes us out because we're just burning cash and, we don't have brand builders. We're not partnered with brand builders, right? We're partnered with the right people. So I think we could go as deep as we want in the markets that we're in, and we're omni-channel too, right? We have a whole bunch of different brands. We can maneuver as quickly as possible because there's no bureaucracy here at Loverboy, right? So when it comes to innovation and things like that, we could really put anything through our pipeline and grow whichever way we need to grow.
And you guys are mostly with big beer distributors, right? Reyes and all sorts of other big AB and MC wholesalers.
Yeah, and I mean, we could have signed with wine and spirits and just been everywhere, right off the bat. But it was important that we went beer network. We went deep into these markets, found the right partners who could help build the brand wherever we go.
Right.
So sorry, I'll just add, Jen, that like even in markets where we could have gone with a house that offers a full state solution, we are really going after sometimes blended, but either a Molson Coors or an AB network, and we're going with their domestic territories. So we're getting best in class right down to the county. And that way we can service the brand, not just in the short term, but the long term.
And so your distributed product is much larger than your DTC, because like Nick was talking omni-channel, and I know that you have certain lines that are just DTC, but your distributed business of the tea is much larger than that now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about what, Nick, like 3-1?
Yeah, it's about 75% is our traditional distributed tea business compared to our direct to consumer merch and spritz.
God, and spritz and martini, right? Or
yeah, we have a couple RTDs. I mean, you had asked what we did in volume, so just purely focused on the teas through traditional distribution. We did 400,000 cases last year. Now that was coming off the heels of running on zero inventory all of 2020. And we actually had nothing to sell all of Q1 of 2021. We were waiting for our imported cans to arrive from Shanghai. That was fun.
Mhm.
And so, the 400,000 case number is great. I don't know what could have been if we didn't have any of these supply chain issues, but hey, everyone faced those issues. But, now, we look back and we're like, shoot, we didn't even participate in spring resets in 2021 because in the fall, we had nothing. We couldn't look a buyer in the face and say, yeah, you're not going to run out of product, right? Everybody was running out of product that we worked with like that. We were on zero inventory. So, we didn't participate in any resets in 2021 in the spring. And as a result, among those 400,000 cases, 75% went through independent buyers. And I think that's a testament to best in class distributors. We don't have any sales reps. So all of that local selling is a result of signing with the right wholesalers.
So it sounds like this year you could do a lot more through chains, and with all the new markets you're opening up, you're going like this, right? Or like this.
Exactly. Yeah. And that started with Kroger. When they got excited about the brand, we basically showed them the data last summer, the Nielsen data. We've got the best performing 6-pack. What do I mean by that? When you look at velocity by dollars in particular, our 6-pack and when you look at the entire 2021 data set, our 6-pack outperforms everything in hard seltzer and FMB. And so if there's room for a 6-pack on the shelf, a buyer, makes more money selling Loverboy than anything else. Yep. And I think that stat is what really caught Kroger's attention. Yes, the category as a whole does most of their volume in 12 packs, but where's it going? The number one trend, second half of 2021 was premiumization. Yep. And that's what we've been doing since the start.
And what really differentiates the brand, right? We have a direct connect with our consumer. As Kyle mentioned, we have 11 times the engagement of White Claw. So we were able to do that volume and independence because we drove them to the shelf of where they needed to be. Kyle could probably give you the stat, but our where to find you page on our website, we get thousands and thousands of people visiting that to see where it is, right? Now that we're going to be in chain and we're doing these spring resets and finally being a part of them, the product's going to be available where they go. We don't have to direct them, right? We just have to tell them what state we're going into, where we're going to be, and they'll go to the shelves that they typically go to, the Krogers, the Total Wines, the Whole Foods, all of that, instead of us having to hold their hand and bring them to the independent that we're currently being served at. So, how high is too high? I mean, who knows?
And that's the beauty, like when you think about the network we're building, if we went with the Southern Glazers or an RNDC and we didn't have any sales reps, we would be doing zero in independent channels.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the trade-off that I think some people miss, that when they come in the industry that they maybe don't get right away. And you obviously have a very engaged audience, that's motivated, because of your notoriety. And so tell me about repeat buys and velocity in current or more mature markets. Is that continuing to hold up? And that's part one of my question. And part two is, do you see velocity picking up or dropping off depending on whether Summer House is on the air or not?
Great question. So let's focus on the direct to consumer, because that's the easiest part. We own that data. We own those relationships. Given the month, the repeat purchase is anywhere from 30 to 40% or more. I think in January, we saw 45% repeat purchase rates. That's for a product with an average order value of $88. So again, ultra premium, our RTDs are about $6 a can. And there's a minimum order of, 2 or 3 4-packs. Little harder to track. We are just now signing on with 3-tier. So, we don't even have a data partner. But the more business we do in chains, the easier it is for us to understand, what those numbers look like. I don't even want to guess because I just don't know. But as you can imagine, if someone's used to spending $88 online and they see our teas for $12.99 a 6-pack on the shelf, I mean, that's why they're grabbing 3 or 4 of them. And we've got the highest basket ring in the category as well.
And then Harry, to add on that, we could drive our consumer to the shelf. They love the brand, they love the name, they see it on TV, they see it on social. but then it was important for us from the beginning to use the highest quality ingredients to make sure it actually tasted good, and that there was transparency in the brand, right? So we're finding that they're buying it that first time because we're driving it to them, but they're actually buying it again because, what do you know, it tastes pretty darn good, and we check a lot of the boxes. So
Right.
Yeah, we've seen there's a couple big suppliers that like to churn something out that's almost like a parody or a one-time buy. Believe it or not, guess what? The liquid matters. So, I think over time, more and more people kind of realize that, hey, there's more personality, there's more taste. It's more of a satisfactory kind of experience, drinking something with better quality ingredients. So I think that'll only increase. To answer your question about Summer House, season 6 is airing right now. It's kind of crazy to think that I've done 6 summers on camera. We just wrapped filming Winter House season 2. So almost half of the year, I've got something on the air. So there's not much downtime because our Summer House airs, during the winter and the spring, going right into Memorial Day weekend. So during peak season, we're not on the air. So it actually sets us up for peak season. And then when things slow down,
Right.
and you see my smiling face, in a parka on Winter House.
Right.
We're actually hearing more and more, people getting introduced to Summer House through buying Loverboy, and not the other way around. So it's really interesting to start to see that flip on its head, right? It's word of mouth, a friend buying Loverboy and then introducing it to a friend or bringing it to a party or whatever it might be. And then all of a sudden they start following Kyle because they saw him on Summer House due to the.
Carl and I just did a meet and greet sampling at Total Wine in Long Island. And I think we sold through 60 or 80 cases. And, some of the people there are clearly diehards. They're rocking the merch, but there's other people there. They're like, yeah, honestly, I found the brand through a friend. Then I started watching the show because I couldn't be holding the can and not be approached and asked about Summer House.
Do those demographics differ? Like the people who came to Loverboy through Summer House, is that a different consumer than the person who found Loverboy on their own? I mean, is it maybe like an older consumer or?
It's really hard to I'm always surprised, when you do a meet and greet and you see just the diverse kind of audience that somehow we're reaching. Generally speaking, Bravo it's the number 1 network among women. It's a little more affluent, a little more educated. What I think works extremely well for us is whoever it is, whatever age, is more likely to be an incremental customer to beer than almost any other brand in the category. Think about if you're 25, 35, 45, you're probably, you once upon a time were watching our show, you're going out grabbing Whispering Angel, Casamigos, Tito's soda, that's our consumer. When you think about the benefits of beer, you can be in 3 to 4 times the number of retail locations due to accessibility. So if we have a premium brand that can be 4 times the number of retail outlets than a Tito's or a Casamigos, that's something that alcohol has never seen before. There's really not a premium brand that pulls in the wine spirit consumer with premium margins that can be at 4 times the locations.
How about C-stores? Are you guys targeting C-stores at all?
We are. It admittedly took a back seat, with this expansion effort that was led by a lot of the big grocery store chains. But I mean, it was 7-Eleven that told us that we've got the highest basket ring, among, any other hard seltzer, or it might have been beer. You do need, a larger format single serve to really play ball. So we are going to work on one of those. But admittedly, we only have one person focused on national accounts. We're expanding that team too. And we'll give, C-store the time and attention that it deserves.
I got to ask, so Kyle, it looks like you're in your apartment, a really nice house, with a beautiful setup in the background. It's a little messy, but you're a young guy. It's a lot cleaner than mine. And then we have Nick, who looks like he's in a basement somewhere. Do you keep him locked to a chair?
Working next to my wife. Yeah, we're both in the basement.
I mean, look.
Yeah, Nick's up in Westchester.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder.
So I'm in the
Now
city. This is a work from home situation. Before that was the norm.
Yeah.
Nick used to commute down here, work at my dining room table. And now he's been delegated to the basement for about 2 years.
I don't even have a window up down here. That's why we've been able to move so fast.
Well, yeah, windows are distracting. I don't allow windows in our offices either. And I got to tell you, I enjoy Winter House. I saw the whole season. I've only seen spots here and there of Summer House, but hey, Winter House it's got some game. These pretty young ladies in their coats, and it's fun.
Yeah, it was a fun experiment. I mean, I literally think of it as an experiment. We filmed for 17 days straight. It was the first time I literally had to force myself to not work because I couldn't. We were either partying or skiing or hungover. I did not pace myself. That first episode was highly embarrassing. I will admit that.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it. I was proud of you. I was proud of you, Kyle, because I know what a grinder you are in real life, and I know how hard you work. And just to see you just kind of you blew it out like a rookie on the first night. It was awesome. Did you sleep on the couch or something? And
I just refused to give in. I wanted that master, and I ended up on the floor. So
yeah, you were real stubborn about which bed you got, and then you ended up without a bed. I loved it. It was great fun.
I'm the chaperone. I'm a highly irresponsible chaperone. I just wanted a good night's sleep. Yeah. But Summer House is fun just because there's a little more balance. We film it on the weekends, so we go back to the city. We go to our respective jobs. I can continue, building Loverboy. It doesn't it's not like I'm filming and not working.
Right.
But yeah, Winter House was a totally different, concept in the sense that it was a vacation.
Right. Well, cool. And, your DTC business is bigger than I thought, because, usually it's not, when you start distributing at your level in 20 states, it goes down to like 10 or 5%, that's really robust at the levels that y'all are still.
Well, almost half of it is our merch. So we've sold over $2 million worth of merch. And I think that speaks to the lifestyle brand that we built. Half the time we're sold out of that merch. So, I mean, who knows what we could be doing, but, I think that people don't think of us as a sparkling heart tea. They think of us as this cool, hip brand that has a story behind it that, is more authentic than our competitors, and they go out and buy the merch and rock it and support us. So there's some merch in there, but yeah, the RTDs, have really proven to be, I mean, we started working on that before the pandemic, and we timed that first launch accidentally perfectly. It was April of 2020. We promptly sold out, but it'll continue to be our innovation hub. We're going to bring our best sellers through traditional distribution. And so all of a sudden, instead of having, a case with about $10 of gross margin for our wholesalers, we're going to have products that have 18, 20, 22, and really start to become a premium partner. And I'm excited because as much as people, go out and buy it online, we've sold, I don't know how much, I mean, it's a lot, over $5 million worth of RTDs online. Everybody wants to make an impulse purchase. I mean, 98% of alcohol purchases are impulse, right? So if we can be on the shelf with these RTDs that are 15, 20 bucks a 4-pack, that's going to really change the game. So we're positioning that for July.
Okay. And what's the number you're looking for? 1 million cases this year? More?
I'd love that. Yeah. I mean, I think that when we're firing on all cylinders, I mean, Jen was asking before we hopped on, our best distributors. And it's like, man, like almost all of our distributors are performing well. If we can sell a full truck to a state like New Hampshire, everything's going well. So, I mean, the standouts, Lakeshore, Penn Beer, Northern Eagle, Reyes, we just launched with Fuhrer and Beverage Distributor. So Pennsylvania and Ohio, and they're just absolutely crushing it. They're just so excited about the brand. I'd love to think that we blow by 1 million because we have the capacity. But obviously the category is still consolidating. It went through that crazy growth and there was a lot of noise. We want to continue to be that number one premium brand.
Do you think the seltzer slowdown kind of directly contributes to you guys? Do you get to slough some of that off or not necessarily?
Yeah, I mean, Jen, to that point, ever since the beginning when we started, I think we just positioned the brand really well, right? We were female centric, knowing that they're making the majority of purchases, better for you product, premium ingredients, transparency. We kind of checked all the boxes, and what you're seeing now is all the bigger brands are trying to catch up as the consumer matures, as the category matures. We've kind of been there waiting for it, right? So those seltzer is, they're going through some stuff right now, the category. We've kind of just been here waiting for, the consumer to figure out what they wanted. And what do you know? It's that transparency, better for you, high quality, and,
flavor.
And flavor, they want flavor and premium. They want a premium product, right? We're no longer just going to be that sell-up opportunity. A lot of these other brands are going that way. So we welcome some higher price points because then we're not just the outlier. People are looking to buy up, spend more for that better product. And, we were at a conference recently and one of the slides was like, this is where you need to be if you want to compete in this category. What do you know? We checked all the boxes and that was about 3 years ago when we launched. Right. So I think we were early to the game, which allows us to maneuver and be front of the pack when we're on the shelf.
It was a blessing in disguise too, just because, every retailer's heads were spinning. They didn't want to miss out, but they didn't even know what to make of, the cooler set, like where to find space, what's pulling, what's not. So I actually think the consolidation and just hitting that saturation point around July of last summer is going to work to our advantage, just because we're a small, teeny little company, right? It's easier for us to get someone's attention if, variety pack number 4 isn't consuming everyone's, time and attention.
Yeah, for sure. I said this last week. I was at Total Wine and just an entire cooler just of 4-packs RTDs and 6-pack RTDs. And, if you told me just a few years ago that a $15 4-pack is a viable product, I would have thought you were crazy, but I think that's low at this point. And we are seeing just a rapid, the consumers leading us to premiumization. It's like we're fighting them. Why? Let's grease the path to higher margin products. I think it's great. Well,
it's a great point, Harry. Like I've kind of said this all along. The reason why I rolled the dice and jumped into this industry is because, and this is no disrespect to anybody, but the 3 tiers historically did stifle a lot of innovation. There was a reason the big suppliers missed the hard seltzer boat, right? They're used to kind of controlling what the consumer gets to buy. And I think we've talked about this before, but like, I think what's kind of unique is in this new age world where you have these new age consumers that are getting introduced to brands in new age mediums like TV and Instagram, you're actually able to better understand what the consumer wants and cater around their interests and their, what they're looking for. And I think that kind of took the industry a little bit by surprise. And to your point, hey, if the consumer wants a premium product, like there's always going to be a Bud Light, there's always going to be White Claw, right? But like, where do we go from there? And I think that's, if you're a beer drinker, you probably eventually get introduced to craft, right? And if you're a hard seltzer drinker, now you're going to be introduced to Loverboy and a bunch of other like higher end RTDs when you're ready to kind of upgrade.
Would you guys do spirits-based products potentially, or not necessarily because of the taxes and, the channels, although you do DTC and Drizzly, so that's kind of not a factor.
Sure. So all of our direct-to-consumer products technically are true direct-to-consumer. They're wine-based. We sell them in 44 states. I think of Drizzly as a little bit of like the 4th tier. They're a marketplace, right? So, with our RTDs, they're in Shopify. We own that consumer data. They're wine-based, and we only make products that we can more or less recreate a neutral vodka-like experience. At some point, once I'm nationwide and I have my beer wholesalers, particularly understand who can also sell wine and spirits, which is most of them. I mean, I'm going to want to do something tequila based because I love tequila. So that in good time, but to your point though, the taxes, I mean, there are some states where I swear Gallo must be losing money selling High Noon because it's just outrageous, you know?
Yeah. They're just there to be on the shelf, and it's tough when you're paying that. Well, good. Well, Jen, anything else before we let these gentlemen go?
No, unless there's anything else, that you guys wanted to share that we haven't covered or.
No, I mean, look, we still have, some gaps, so we still have distributors coming inbound. We have plenty of retailers coming inbound. And like I said, we're kind of trying to better understand our plans, thinking about doing our very first institutional round. So, we might make some announcements on that front, but, we're just going to keep our head down just like we have over the last 2 years and just keep working hard. And hopefully you'll be able to, everybody listen, we'll be able to find Loverboy near them.
Cool.
Perfect.
Well, good.
Tune into Summer House on Monday nights.
Right.
Yeah.
On
Watch
Bravo.
me embarrass myself.
Yeah. Yes. Well, good. This is Kyle Cooke and Nick Califano of Loverboy. We enjoy getting to know you guys and to have you on as a repeat. And we'll check back in with you in 6 months and see how it's shaken. How does that sound?
Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right,
Awesome.
great guys.
Harry, Jenn.
Thanks, Harry.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.